Hey guys, so today I want to talk about Jaclyn Hill again because even more information came out because of the former bankruptcy, well, including Oxygen Labs, which were the ones that produced Jaclyn's lipsticks. We're getting a lot of tea about Jaclyn Hill indirectly through the former bankruptcy, and it's very, very interesting. A lot of this is being uncovered by Jen Love's reviews. I did mention her in my last former bankruptcy Jaclyn Hill EXPOSED video, so I'll just have her either channel or video linked in the description like I did last time, because she's the one that's getting all the documents. Obviously I'm in the UK, it's kind of difficult to find American legal documents, but so glad someone's providing them. So just to recap, the bits that were kind of most important and regarding Jaclyn Hill were the fact that Oxygen Labs weren't paid for the lipsticks. So the first batch of the, you know, moldy, holy, hairy lipsticks. Jaclyn Hill talks about how much this cost her and how much of a financial burden this was and yada yada yada, but she actually owes Oxygen Labs almost $200,000, and by she I mean former, and I'll get into that in a minute. And they haven't been paid for the lipsticks, which yeah, the lipsticks were bad, but you know. The lipsticks were also 96 cents each. That's just the lipstick bit, not the whole component. And the lipsticks actually weren't old. They were about a month old. She gave them less than a month to produce the lipsticks, which is why they were such bad quality, because they were rushed through the production stage, even though she had the components for about 3 years. Which now begs the question, were the lipsticks okay and were the components just dirty? Like, you know, you can imagine components sitting in a warehouse will get dusty, hairy. Like, did they, in that month of producing the lipsticks, have time to clean each individual component? I don't think so. In that month, like I said, they had to produce X amount of lipsticks, clean X amount of components, which means that maybe the lipsticks were bad, yes, because Oxygen Labs doesn't have the best reputation for producing makeup, but maybe also the components were dirty. I'm gonna put in a few clips just to like ring your guys' bell, ring the bell of memory. Remind you guys that I was trying to bring out some kind of a saying there and it just wasn't coming out. She claimed it was a family business and that she put money into it. She claimed to be the owner, the founder, the CEO. There are multiple clips throughout her kind of career, either before she released the lipstick or when she was announcing the lipsticks, where she said, you know, me and my mum worked on this. I gave her a shade to create because like I was like, you know, we worked on this together. You deserve to have your own shade. And it's like she really made this sound like it was a family business, but also before the lipsticks came out, before she even announced them, she talked about how, you know, how difficult creating your own makeup brand is, and she's a CEO and she takes accountability. And even after everything went down, in her apology videos, you know, she would always say that she was like the owner, the CEO of the brand.
It's my brand and it literally has my name on it. That I am launching a brand that I am so proud to be the owner of, I cannot even begin to tell you. But mom, you create whatever you want. You deserve to have something of your own in this line that people know, like they are buying into a family business when they purchase from Jaclyn Cosmetics. I was working with the best lab, with the best people. I had spent all this money. I was just like, this is amazing. I'm currently working on something that is 100% Jaclyn Hill. I am the one that is paying for it. I am my only investor, and it is my product that I'm coming out for you guys. I've been working on it for almost 2 full years. It's been 23 months that I've been working on it. So yeah, coming soon. Coming soon.
Now, this couldn't be more wrong. Oxygen actually posted more documents that said that Morphe, aka Former, paid for everything. They own all of the shares in Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. Every single share. She doesn't own any shares in her own company. And that she has never been CEO, CFO, or owner in any capacity. She is quite literally only the face of the brand. She is, in a sense, involved in Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics in the same capacity that she is involved in Morphe. She is a collaborator and she is an ambassador of sorts and a face of the brand, but she is definitely not the owner. She's definitely not the founder. She's definitely not the CEO, the CFO. The shareholder, like not even a shareholder, not even one singular share. Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics made $300K in 2020, $14 million in 2021, and then it dropped to $9 million in 2022. So over $25 million across 3 years, which is obviously amazing, which is why I don't really understand why she wouldn't start this brand on her own. Why did she need Former to do this for her? She obviously, from her like long career on YouTube, had more than enough money to start the brand on her own. You know, Jeffree Star, I know we don't like him, but he did start his own brand on his own when he was broke. You know, he was on the verge of bankruptcy. So I'm sure Jaclyn Hill, with the kind of luxurious life that she lives, we can assume that she had, probably 100k laying around to create a few lipstick shades. Maybe she wouldn't have had that whole collection, maybe split it up into 2 parts. I don't know why she wouldn't do this on her own, but to be fair, I guess doing it through Forma meant that like this was no work. It wasn't really hard work. She would just show up for some photo shoots, pick out some shades that she really liked, you know, kind of how she worked on her Morphe collaborations. Like, it's not a start to finish, your job, your like baby, your, you know, like if she was the CEO, she would obviously have a lot more work to do. The thing about Jaclyn is she always tries to make the most money with as little effort as possible. So I kind of see this being the case with this. Like, she knew she was gonna make less money by not being the shareholder or the CEO, but she was like, maybe I'll take slightly less money for the fact that I will literally have to do like minimal work. Shop some photo shoots, pick out pink and purple for something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's obviously a lot less work to not be the founder, to not be the CEO, to not be the CFO, to not be the owner or the shareholder. There's obviously a lot less responsibility and financial burden. I'm just wondering what will happen. Obviously, we were all talking about how like Forma's going bankrupt, but Jaclyn Hill still has her own brand. But she doesn't, because Morphe owns 100% of the shares in Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. So if they're going bankrupt, Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics is actually going to cease to exist unless she's able to buy out all of the shares. But because we were all thinking like, yeah, she could just take her brand and just like go with it. Just like Ren Beauty took their brand and went. Like, they're already gone. They're already disassociated themselves with Forma. But Jaclyn Hill can't do that because Jaclyn Hill doesn't own her brand. Another reason why we know that Jaclyn Hill is literally only the collaborator of this situation is that there are payouts to Jaclyn Hill from Forma for Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, and it's usually named for being a collaborator and for licensing, which I'm saying the licensing bit is just for her allowing Forma to use her name, her face, and her likeness to sell product. This isn't her makeup line. This is not her makeup brand. This whole like, I'm CEO boss and I'm a boss. Like, no, you literally are just the face of Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, the same way you were the face of Morphe for a bit. Like, no difference. There is no difference between these two. What's also really interesting is, I don't know how or when Jaclyn Hill is going to address this, because she will have to address the fact that she has lied and lied and lied and did nothing but lie throughout her whole career. Because she has CEO of Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics in her Instagram bio. Jaclyn Hill isn't the CEO now, and they've listed all the past CEOs of Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, and she was neither of those. None of them. And on the Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics page, she names herself as the owner of the brand. She doesn't own a singular share in the brand. She's not the owner of the brand. She created the concept of the brand. She gave them the licensing to her name, her face, and her likeness, but she doesn't own the brand. There's no part of the brand that she owns. Now, Forma has updated the documents to say that they do owe Oxygen Labs almost $200,000, because when this lawsuit was first happening, they said that they owe Oxygen Labs $10, and Oxygen Labs really fired back, and this is how all of this came out. And now Forma did update to say that they own Oxygen Labs $200,000 for those lipsticks. So that's another bit of debt that they have now acquired. And Oxygen actually wants to address everything with Jaclyn Hill personally, so they are now trying to get like a meeting, a hearing between them and Jaclyn Hill, not Forma or Morphe, Jaclyn Hill, because this is obviously a deeper issue. I actually don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but this is going to become a much bigger issue, and if Jaclyn Hill doesn't address it at some point now, you know, I want to hear this from her own mouth. I want to hear her say, I lied, guys. I love lying. I'm a liar. Like, I just want to hear her say that just once, instead of making more lies to cover up lies and excuses and explanations and story times and then crying and, you know, I want to hear, I'm a liar. I love to lie to you guys. That's what I want to hear personally, but that's a personal choice. Let me know what you guys think about this whole thing. Subscribe to the bell icon for engagement, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.